Well, it's been just over 3 years since the most destructive wildfire in New Mexico history. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, known as FEMA, promised to compensate those impacted by the Hermit's Peak Calf Canyon fire. But some say they're taking too long. News 13's Bella Olage spoke with the attorney representing New Mexico Highlands University in the latest lawsuit against FEMA.
100% this is about accountability.
In April of 2022, the U.S. Forestry Service conducted a prescribed burn outside of Las Vegas, New Mexico. But a combination of windy weather and a spark from a sleeper fire quickly became what is now known as the Hermit's Peak Calf Canyon fire.
3 years and 2 weeks ago, the federal government committed acts of negligence in the way that it executed on a controlled burn in northern New Mexico. As a result, hundreds of thousands of acres were lost in northern New Mexico. People lost their homes.
The federal government took responsibility for the destruction, and New Mexico's congressional delegation led the charge in creating the Hermit's Peak Calf Canyon Fire Act, which appropriated over $5 billion to compensate victims.
And they did so with an intent that the victims of the Hermit's Peak Calf Canyon Fire Act would quickly be compensated for what they'd been through. Unfortunately, this process, because of FEMA, has been anything but quick.
In the most recent lawsuit against FEMA, New Mexico Highlands University, located in Las Vegas, claims the agency is making them jump through unnecessary hoops.
FEMA, their agency, is actually saying, no, you have to use this different process first.
FEMA is asking the university to submit its claims through the Stafford Act, which predates the fires and works as a public assistance program.
That act actually requires entities to actually advance funds and then be reimbursed. That was never contemplated under the Hermit's Peak Calf Canyon Fire Act. FEMA has set forth some arbitrary rules about what has to happen before New Mexico Highlands can be compensated, and we're done.
Choosing to let a judge make the decision.
No one is going to be personally enriched by this claim. It's straightforward. It ought to be processed by FEMA, and it should be paid.
Under the Hermit's Peak Calf Canyon Act, FEMA is required to pay out victims within 180 days. But attorney Brian Colon says he has other clients who are still waiting to see that money.
3 years is too long. People who've been waiting on determinations for more than 360 days, it's embarrassing.
Bella Olage, KRQE, News 13.
FEMA reports it has paid out roughly $2.25 billion for more than 16,000 claims. As of the March 14th deadline, FEMA has received roughly 20,000 claims.